Hi, everybody. Once again, welcome to the official channel of Epic Cash. My name is Rodrix, and today our guest is Tayler. He's a journalist and a crypto researcher. Tayler, welcome. How are you?
Hey, good. Thank you so much for the invite. I'm good. How are you doing?
Very good. As a journalist myself, it's been busy times the past few months regarding the crypto industry. But tell us a little bit about yourself, Tayler.
Yeah, sounds good. And yeah, I feel your pain. 2022 was, was a heck of a year. And 2023, we've got this crazy bull run going on as we speak that caught everybody off guard. So don't know what, can't make heads or tails of it. But yeah, a bit about me. I've been in crypto since 2019. Started off like most of us as a speculator, and I was, number go up, cool. I do come from a traditional financial background. I used to be a financial advisor for one of the largest banks in Canada. So yeah, when I first got into crypto, it was just as a speculative investment. And then there was one pivotal TED Talks from a woman named Anne Connolly. And it's a great video. It's only like 12 minutes long and it's just called Bitcoin and the Future of Freedom. And then from there, it was kind of my aha moment. And I was like, this is about so much more than just number go up, try and make money and fill bags sort of thing. So kind of since then, I've just been obsessed about crypto. I've worked for a few different crypto companies. I was a support engineer for a wallet company for a while. And then I got into blockchain investigations and analysis, trying to track down stolen crypto funds, things like that, which was really interesting, but quite sad. As you know, it's crypto transactions are kind of one way. And now I just write full time as a journalist and crypto researcher. So I'm pretty well neck deep into crypto.
No, excellent background, especially to be here in the Epic Cash community to give us some knowledge and share some information from the crypto industry. So, how long have you been into Epic as well? Like, how did you hear about the project, and how did you get to learn about it?
So I first heard about Epic about a year and a half ago. I was researching Mimblewimble and came across Grim and Beam as a couple projects that use Mimblewimble. And I put out this article, and it was actually somebody from the Epic Cash community reached out to me, and they're like, "Hey, really like your article." It was actually, my article was tweeted out by the Litecoin Foundation, so I had quite a few eyes on it. And then it was someone from the Epic Cash community was like, "How come you didn't mention Epic Cash?" And I was like, "Sorry, why didn't I mention what? What is it?" And so he kind of gave me the rundown of it and introduced me to just like the scope of what the project is. And ever since then, I've been very intrigued, to say in the least. It's been about a year, and I'm still fully trying to wrap my head around it, because it's quite an ambitious project. But that's how I was introduced into it.
Very nice. And as a researcher and a journalist, basically you eat crypto for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I'm assuming, right? You're connected all the time. How many projects that are very complex that are out there comparing to Epic?
I want to be a bit careful. Like, I don't want to sound too promotional, and I never kind of put all my eggs in one basket or in the corner of any one crypto. But really, I think Epic Cash is the most fully comprehensive crypto project I've ever come across, because it's everything from, they're working on a stable coin and a payment system, and it's almost like most crypto projects try and fill one niche or try and do one thing really, really well. And I'm quite surprised at the scope of what Epic is trying to become. It's almost like they're looking at the entire legacy financial system and say, we can do better. But they're not tackling it one thing at a time. And I'm not even really part of the project. I'm just a fly on the wall looking in, and I feel overwhelmed looking at this thing. I'm just like, how are you guys doing all this? So it's definitely the most comprehensive, complex crypto project I've ever seen.
Yeah, I have a little here, the App Sphere, just for everybody to have an idea. If you're part of the App Cash community, you've seen this chart before and many others that we show here on the channel. But that definitely, there's a lot of branches to pay attention. But Tayler, today you being very connected in the crypto and blockchain industry, what's missing out there? What's that there's something that nobody's building, or that we need to focus more?
Oh man, that's a good question. I think there's a lot of things. Probably the number one complaint that we always hear is just nothing's user friendly. Everything's a little bit confusing, especially when it comes to the world of DeFi. I mean, I still sweat bullets every time I have to hook my MetaMask up to a platform. I'm like, every time I open up my MetaMask, I half assume that the funds are just going to be gone out of there for some reason, right? We hear about real OGs that have been in crypto for years still falling for phishing scams and having their NFT swiped and everything else. So, I think security is definitely a big thing, but it's not just security. To kind of get back to the heart of what crypto was supposed to be, when it comes to an escape from the financial system and just financial freedom, not in a sense of wealth, but just in a sense of owning our own property. Everything that I loved about Bitcoin and what it kind of promoted, I think many people in the industry understand that Bitcoin's not perfect. It's got its shortfalls, especially when it comes to scalability. I mean, the Lightning Network, jury's still out on that, whether or not that's going to be the final end all be all. But privacy is a big issue that Bitcoin's lacking, and we need privacy. I mean, we don't want everybody to track every one of our transactions, right? That's why a lot of people use cash for things, and it's not for illegal purposes. It's just because I don't want my employer knowing, what I'm spending money on, this or that. It's the same reason why we don't make our internet history public, right? And then the final thing with Bitcoin as well is fungibility. So those are three pretty important factors of money that no protocol has cracked yet. So I think we got to kind of get back to basics. Everybody's like, well, let's build these metaverses, let's build these NFT projects. And it's like, well, maybe let's get back to the basics first, because we haven't even, in my opinion, we haven't even built the foundational basics. We haven't perfected that yet. And we're already on step 367 and we haven't solidified step 1. So I guess that's kind of what I'd like to see.
No, excellent. Especially because every day as well, we see so many new deviations of DeFi products, metaverse, and other products being created. And the industry is moving on a very fast pace, even though in 2022 was a very harsh year for the crypto industry. But Tayler, today, how are you contributing for crypto projects and research? Because there is also a lot of crypto research houses putting together reports, either for investments or analysis. How is this business because you're the one connected to it as well, and how trusted those institutions are, or just some beautiful websites with some nice picture, a nice logo that they say they're research and they have a report, and then people are buying those content. How do you see this market today?
Sorry, what do you mean? In what way?
Because you're very involved into a crypto research, right? And there are several other business doing the same thing, that they research projects either for investments or to create reports to sell online or to sell a subscription. Is this business growing fast, and how trusted are those business?
I mean, that's a kind of an interesting question. One thing I'm already finding quite interesting is we saw in the bull run in 2021, there were quite a few blockchain conferences popping up all over the place, and the tickets were going for hundreds and hundreds of euros where I'm from. And some of these subscriptions were going for, a couple hundred a month. I mean, there are some great ones. There are some terrible ones. So there's a lot of people just trying to jump on the bandwagon and make money from this, obviously. A lot of these companies are just, hey, I'll watch a YouTube video, I'll read the white paper and try and sell a subscription because now I'm a researcher. Obviously, there's some fantastic publications out there as well. Anybody that kind of is looking at the on-chain analytics, I'm a big fan of Masari, Glassnode, projects like that. But going back to the conferences, it's kind of funny now in the end of 2022, there was a couple of blockchain conferences that I was like, well, I'm not going to go to that because I wanted £400 or £500 a ticket. Or euros a ticket, and then all of a sudden at the last minute they're like, actually you can come for free. So I attended a few that just slashed their prices, and there was 50 of us there, and I was like, well, 6 months ago you were trying to charge me 500 euros for this, now it's free and there's only a handful of us here. So yeah, like any industry, there's a lot of opportunists just trying to get in there while the iron's hot. So I think the people that are sticking around, especially those of us who have stuck around throughout 2022, I think those are the people that are in it for the long haul. So I think anybody that you see who is still active and engaged over the past year, those are probably some pretty solid people to follow in the space for sure.
Very nice, because it's very easy today to create projects, PDF presentations, reports, websites, and sell a product online as well, right? And on that note, all those projects, they create some very complex diagrams or ecosystem, and I actually want to show the ones that we have here from Epic as well. That's something that we can understand, the subway map. On your research, how useful are those visual materials for people to understand how the ecosystems work?
I think with something like Epic, it was the visuals were the only way that I was able to wrap my head around it. I was on hours of calls with a few of the community members just trying to understand it, and really was kind of like, what are you like? How is this all connected? I was like, okay, Epic has this big grand wall picture, and I'm like, okay, but how does it all connect and fit together? Why do you need this branch and this branch, and what's the common ground between them? So, maybe it helps I'm a visual learner as well. So yeah, I really love. I think Epic's got some really good educational content out there. Loads of stuff to get tucked into.
What's been the most important topics in the Epic Cash community that you found that's interesting? That's something like this out there.
I think the biggest thing, again, is just the scope of what they're trying to do. They're not just looking at streamlining one little thing. They're like, we can do the whole system better. We can do everything. And whether or not they can or can't, time will tell. It sounds very promising, and it looks very promising, and I really like what they're doing. So there's probably two things that keep me the most interested in the project. And that's just one, again, the broad scope of it, because I don't know any other projects that are trying to, they're basically doing a full stack, aren't they? They're looking at every aspect of the financial markets, financial system, what we need, and they're looking to build that out kind of as like a one-stop solution, which is very cool. And then I guess the other thing is just that it sounds so corny and cliche when so many blockchain companies are like, hey, we're building a better Bitcoin. I'm like, yeah, I've heard that 100 times. Let's see it. And it wasn't until Epic that I was like, actually, these guys they're probably the closest one to not only talking the talk, but walking the walk as well. It's still, I'm not telling everybody to run out and buy it. Certainly not even endorsing it, because it's one thing to see things in theory, but time will tell, right? Like, I'm sure the early investors in Blockbuster and Yahoo Finance thought that was the end all be all as well, and then that turned out to not be the case. So as great as it looks, and I really am a fan of what they're accomplishing, and I'll definitely be watching closely, because 5 years from now, if they actually achieve everything that they're saying is theoretically possible, then this could be a hell of a project. Excuse my language, but yeah, it's really exciting stuff.
No, definitely. The blockchain industry, it is very exciting to be part of this transformation. And Tayler, before we go, if you could give an advice to someone that's just coming to the Epic Cash community, crypto community in general, what would you tell them?
Boy, I guess a lesson that I've seen a lot of people learn the hard way is just when it comes to trading, especially using leverage, you have to think a lot of these trading gurus all over YouTube. You kind of got to think, if these guys were as good at trading as they make out, why are they making YouTube videos? Why are they, trying to shill these courses and their products? Yeah, I mean, trading, I think it was Warren Buffett who said the 3 L's. I shouldn't be quoting him. He's very anti-crypto, but he's got a great saying about the 3 L's that'll ruin you in life. And he says, ladies, liquor, and leverage. So, the first thing I would say is I'd say 90% of active crypto traders are the equivalent of, snake oilsmen back in the day, right? They're trying to sell this dream and this something that's probably not possible. Because I remember I used to be into day trading. I used to trade a lot of stocks and Forex. And I just kind of came to the realization that we're trading against firms and institutions that have access to data and insider knowledge and entire research teams and analysts. And, those guys are trying to make 12 to 20% a year. So for you on your mobile phone or your laptop to think that you can get in there and you can compete against those guys and make 500% a year and turn your, $30 into 6 figures, just probably not going to happen. So I'd say that's probably the best advice I can give is for traders to just be realistic, always use a stop loss, and understand, responsible risk management, because otherwise you're going to turn into Sam Bankman-Fried and blow up FTX.
Excellent. Tayler, thank you very much for your time. And once again, everybody, remember all the links and the presentations that we showed today in our video, they're on the description below. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.